Have you ever wondered why, despite its perceived stability, the world collectively moved away from a monetary system backed by gold? It's a question that delves deep into economic theory, historical necessity, and political evolution. The answer isn't a simple tale of failure, but a complex narrative of evolving priorities and the inherent tension between rigid discipline and necessary flexibility. For centuries, the gold standard offered a seemingly immutable anchor for global finance. It promised price stability and instilled confidence by tying a nation's currency directly to a fixed quantity of gold. This system inherently limited governments' ability to inflate their currency, fostering fiscal prudence. However, this very strength was also its Achilles heel. The money supply could only expand if a nation acquired more gold, often through trade surpluses or new discoveries. This created a rigid framework, ill-suited for the dynamic and often turbulent economic realities of the 20th century. Major conflicts proved to be the most potent catalyst for abandoning gold. Financing large-scale wars demands immense resources, far exceeding what traditional tax revenues or even borrowing could sustainably provide. Governments faced an urgent need for liquidity to fund military operations. During World War I, nations like Britain and France quickly suspended gold convertibility. This allowed them to print money to pay for armaments and troops, effectively monetizing their war debts. What began as a temporary wartime measure often became a permanent shift as the economic landscape was irrevocably altered. The gold standard's rigidity became particularly problematic during economic downturns. Under this system, a recession often led to deflation as the money supply contracted in response to reduced economic activity. Governments had limited tools to counteract these forces. The classical price-specie flow mechanism theoretically allowed for self-correction, but it was slow and painful. It often deepened short-term economic pain, as falling prices and wages exacerbated unemployment. Policymakers increasingly sought greater control over their domestic economies. The Great Depression delivered a decisive blow to the gold standard's credibility. As global trade collapsed and capital flows reversed, many countries faced immense pressure on their gold reserves. Adherence to gold often meant pursuing deflationary policies, which deepened the economic slump. Nations that devalued their currencies or abandoned gold earlier, such as the United Kingdom in 1931 and the United States in 1933, often recovered faster. This allowed them to implement expansionary monetary policies, stimulating demand and employment. The stark contrast in economic outcomes provided compelling evidence against strict gold adherence. The 20th century also witnessed a significant shift in political priorities. As democratic systems matured and the concept of the welfare state gained traction, there was increasing public demand for governments to manage the economy actively. Full employment, social safety nets, and economic growth became paramount objectives. The gold standard, with its inherent austerity and limited policy tools, often clashed with these new political imperatives. It constrained governments from using monetary policy to stimulate demand or cushion economic shocks. The intellectual ascendancy of Keynesian economics further bolstered arguments for discretionary fiscal and monetary policy. It's crucial to understand that the departure from gold was not a single, synchronized event. It was a protracted process, marked by various stages and hybrid systems. The classical gold standard largely ended with World War I, followed by the interwar gold exchange standard, which proved fragile. The Bretton Woods system, established after World War II, represented a modified gold exchange standard, with the US dollar pegged to gold and other currencies pegged to the dollar. This system provided relative stability for decades, but eventually collapsed in 1971, ushering in the era of floating exchange rates and fiat currencies. The abandonment of the gold standard was a pragmatic response to evolving economic and political realities. It granted governments unprecedented flexibility in managing their domestic economies, allowing for counter-cyclical policies and the pursuit of full employment. This flexibility, however, came at a cost. The automatic discipline of gold was replaced by the discretion of central banks and governments. While this offered greater responsiveness, it also introduced the potential for inflation and fiscal irresponsibility. Understanding this fundamental trade-off is key to appreciating ongoing debates about monetary policy today. Countries ultimately left the gold standard not because it was inherently flawed, but because its rigid framework became incompatible with the demands of modern economies and democratic governance. The transition reflects a continuous human effort to adapt monetary systems to serve broader societal goals. It's a testament to the dynamic interplay between economic theory, historical events, and political will. In the next installment, we'll explore the fascinating journey of gold and silver after they ceased to be the primary form of money and why their allure persists in our modern financial world. This content is for educational purposes only and is not financial or investment advice. Always conduct your own research and consult with a qualified professional before making any financial decisions. If this exploration of monetary history and economic evolution has sparked your curiosity, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more insightful content. Share your thoughts in the comments below. What aspects of the gold standard or its abandonment do you find most compelling? Your engagement helps us create more valuable discussions for economic students, history buffs, investors, and the general public alike. Thank you for watching, and we hope you have a blessed day.